Okay. Hey Ronnie, how you doing? Welcome everybody. Just turned on the phone. Get started soon. Welcome Maureen from Metro Milwaukee area. And Lisa from Central, or was it Cottage Grove? Welcome, Lisa. Somewhere near here. Welcome, Carol. It's cold in Mesa. I hope it's going to be warm. We're going to be out there, Jessica. We're going to be out in Tucson February 1st to the 6th, shopping. Delivering our kits to someone that's selling them for this. Welcome, Lynn, out in New York. Welcome, Jane. Kathleen from Michigan. Sorry about those Lions. They had a good year. Had to be horrible to lose at home in front of your home team. Welcome, Sue. Now I'm trying to remember where Sue is. I think Sue's also from Michigan, maybe. Michigan, or welcome, Karen from Arizona. Or no, Karen's in Wisconsin? No, Karen's in Arizona. I'm not sure where Karen is, sorry. Welcome, Rita. I should know where Karen is. I think Karen's in West Bend? No. Anyway, maybe somewhere in Wisconsin. I'm just mumbling to myself.
Yes, you are mumbling. Mr. Guzman, you should do your very best to be as enunciating as you can.
Yeah. Welcome, Julie.
Sit up straight, do all the things.
Oh. Menominee Falls. Pretty darn close. Pretty close. Yeah. We're supposed to get down just a little mini cold snap tonight. We had a 3-day cold snap, and then we got a 1-day mini before things get better. Welcome, Lisa from the East Coast. Well, we got enough people to get started, so we are coming to you live from historic downtown Stoughton. It's the Ed and Becky Show. My name is Ed. Say hi, Becky.
Hi, Becky.
Becky says hi. So we've got a fun tutorial for you tonight of a brand new world premiere of a kit. We called it Skipping Stones. I wanted to call it Shiny Skipping Stones because there's 3 little S's. If you can see it on these little skipping stones. I was going to call them shiny skipping stones, and Becky said, let's just call it skipping stones, so we did. So if you have a happy wife, you have a happy life. And these are an homage to our original, one of our best-selling kits of all time, Stepping Stones. Stepping Stones is the exact same concept, and if you look at the literature, you're going to see that's the Stepping Stones literature. That is the Skipping Stones literature. So you see, really, it is the same pattern. It's bead, bead, stepping stone or skipping stone, bead, bead, ring, ring, bead, bead, repeat. And some of you out there may not know, but we always have complete literature with complete instructions, photos that we include in all of our kits. I don't know if everyone does that, but we do that. So again, our trouble is we were getting ready for Tucson and found out that this stone is back ordered through April overseas, and the supplier didn't have confidence that he'd even see it in April. So it's like, oh, we got to do something. And so we found this fun fixture and this fun. It's a really an identical kind of concept. It's a 2-hole bead about the same size. The only difference is it's narrower. It's 5 millimeters wide versus 10 millimeters wide. What that allows you to, though, is get more beads and more pretty on your bracelet. The other thing is this comes in 3 finishes. It comes in shiny silver like this one, and it comes in antique silver like this one. So you can see it's got kind of like the black antiquing. And then it comes in the gold as well. So it gives us some more fun design options for this product line. And we're one of our main goals tonight is just to gauge A, do you like it? Number one. B, which colorways do you like? So that'll help us gauge exactly the right colors to take with us to Tucson. So with all that said, we'll start off with a little tutorial. And this, like many of our bracelets, does not require any tools, does not require any skills. It's just going to be 3 knots and stringing. 3 knots and stringing. A knot to, a knot to start the project. Actually, I'll take this one apart here. A knot to start the project by the button, and 2 knots to end the project. These size it to your wrist and make the buttonhole. So 3 knots, stringing beads, that's all there is to it. There's 5 key elements to each kit. The rings, the beads, the skipping stones, the button itself, and the leather. We're using 1.5 mil leather for this, and we're using shank buttons on all of these. And the easiest way to take a 30-inch piece of leather and get your shank button centered is to just simply divide your leather in half by getting the ends lined up, and you're just going to thread it on one of the 2 pieces of leather. I've seen people try to lark's head these on. You don't want to do that. And then you're just going to tie the simplest overhand knot that you've been tying your whole life. And in this case, it's going to be an over the finger knot instead of the overhand knot. And I just realized I didn't get with moving things around, I got my ends out of whack. So I'm just going to get my ends back straight. So again, over the finger and going to tuck through. So we're making the pretzel, like the same kind of pretzel you tie your shoes with. You with me so far? A lot of times when you try to pull these knots, the knot wants to go, the knot wants to go that way, but you want the knot to go this way. And the trick to keeping the knot where you want it is to keep the loop a little large. And I call that nudging or scooching the knot. So you're kind of still keeping the loop open until the point that you want to really close up the knot, and then you bear down on it and just give it a really good snugging. And just like when you're sewing a button on a shirt or a blouse, you want to make sure that the button still moves, but you want to get that knot also as close to the button as possible because you want to get as much pretty on as possible. So going back to our sample, our pattern, really, I consider these like a packet is kind of like 2 beads, a stepping stone. Oops, and I'm already off camera. 2 beads. Like a lot of these bracelets, we start with a bead and end with a bead. 2 beads, and I usually, before I even string them all the way down, I'll put them on like this. I'll just, load them right by my fingers so I can kind of see what I'm doing. So 2 beads, stepping stone and 2 beads. You with me so far? 2 beads, stepping stone, 2 beads. Oops. I'm trying to do this looking through the camera, which is like driving with binoculars. Anyway, so then I'm going to run these all down here. And your first thought is, oh, they're going to kind of get in the way. They're not going to line up. And you just got to kind of scooch them into place. So you're going to be doing a lot of scooching with these. Welcome, Helene. I'm glad you found us. So now we've got a nice little packet. Bead, bead, stepping stone, bead, bead. And in between those packets, and ideally you want to end on a packet, but at a minimum you want to make sure you also end on beads. You don't want to end on rings or a stone. It's just not as elegant, but not impossible. So this is not a hard and fast requirement. It's a tip, and I don't even know if you're going to be able to see it with the shine from the ring light. But one extra credit thing to do with your rings, and I think you can kind of see them here on the camera, they have a seam. And ideally, as you're threading this, you want to keep all your seams on one side, so therefore there's a pretty smooth side all on one side. And when you saw those photos that I had of the projects in the newsletter, or if you saw them on our website, I always try to get all the rings in one direction. So basically, we did packet number 1. Now we're going to do packet number 2, which, if you're following along out there, is bead, bead. 1 bead on each strand. Again, this stepping stone has 2 holes. They are 1.75 millimeter holes. I liked the other one. The old stepping stones had 2 millimeter holes. We have yet to find 1.5 millimeter leather that does not work with these. So we've even had some fat 1.5 millimeter leather, and it's worked just fine with these holes. So there you go. It's starting to take shape. We give you 13 packets worth of beads, rings, and stepping stones. In other words, 13 stepping stones, 52 beads, 26 rings in the kit. Of course, your button and your piece of leather. And I'm just going to check to see. This time I got 1 right and 1 wrong. I find it hard to try to thread them on. I just thread them on any old way, and then I look where they landed, and then I make sure that the seams are down, pretty side is up, and right away you're ready for a packet. I made one of these. I just realized right before the show I hadn't done some of my staging of my projects, so I had to largely make most of, the one I'm going to show you in a little minute to end the project. I got there in like 23 minutes. So you could comfortably make I think you could comfortably make one in 30 minutes if you got good beading skills. And now I just all of a sudden having a hard time keeping my eyes threading through the camera, but give me a sec here. So it's but yeah, you saw I've just threaded on packet number 3, and those of you who are all out there, shout with me. Packet number 3 was bead, bead, stepping stone, or in this case skipping stone, shiny skipping stone, ring, ring. So I could keep going here, but you kind of get the idea of what's going on. Seams are all here, and like I said, it moves along quite quickly and starts to look quite lovely and quite elegant. And then we just keep beading to the size of your wrist. So, and a lot of you out there, if you have a statistically average 6.5-inch wrist, you typically are wearing a 7 1/4 to a 7.5 inch bracelet. Some of you obviously have a little bigger wrists. Some of you have smaller wrists, but this was one that's got, I'm just ready to finish the 11th packet. Again, you get 13 packets in with your project, but 11 gets you, and again, it could vary slightly with the beads, but it gets you right around 6.5 to 6 3/4. And right now, I think I measured this before the start, that this is 6 3/4 right now, which is really good because I want to kind of end up right around that 7.5. Actually, I think this is like 6 5/8, which is perfect. So then again, we've sized it to our wrist. It tells you how to do that in the instructions, and basically, with a lot of these, you pull it tight around your wrist, and so let's say this was your wrist, and when you pull it tight, and sometimes you might have a friend help you that you're beading with, but when you I usually hold this button perpendicular, and if this button is touching these beads, and you've got it tight, that means you need to stop. Let's say you put it on and it was touching here, then it's like, okay, you gotta remove these two elements, because otherwise you're just going to be way too long. The reason you size it tight is because it's not this knot that controls the length. It's this knot over here that controls the length. And this 1 inch, or this 3/4 of an inch, is going to give you that perfect fit, that perfect natural looseness, and because that's where the button's ultimately going to hit against. So it's one of those conundrums. In order to know where you need to go, where you need to end up, you need to know this part first. And so, we always encourage you, don't super snug these knots. Try it on first. And if it does fit perfectly, then you snug, and you can add dangles and you're done. If you found it was too long or too short, then you still have the ability to deconstruct it and either add or delete beads. But again, our goal is to give you enough beads for 8 inches of linear beading, so you could make up to a 9.5 inch bracelet. So I have made my buttonhole. I have snugged my knots. This step you do not have to do. I'm adding some fun little dangle beads to the end. You can add as many as you want, depending on how many you have left over. And you just don't want to have them, so many on there that they're dangling in the nacho cheese dip when you're reaching for the nacho cheese. And then you thread those on individually and tie them individually. And then you just trim and you're done. I mean, it really is a very simple project. It's something you can do on the sidelines of a kid's soccer game. You can do it on an airplane if it's not too bumpy of a ride. You can do it while you're watching TV at night. There. So now you've got your buttonhole, and then this just buttons like a button on a shirt. Goes right through, and there you've got your bracelet. Oop, gotta make sure got it backwards. Gotta make sure my pretty side, my smooth seam side, is all out. And then I just take and trim the excess leather, and I usually trim about, leave at least a quarter. Oops, I'm off the. Leave at least a 1/4 inch or so. You never want to, on any project, you never want to cut right up against the knot. It could help. It could risk the knot unfolding.
You do pull those knots really, really, really tight, right?
And I pulled them really, really tight. Yes, I did. Alrighty, and so we've got a lot of fun beads with us. We're using a lot of these silver lined frost 6-0. Are these Miyukis, Becky, or something like that?
Yeah, those are I think they're all Miyuki 5.
All Miyuki 5. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. They're 5. They're size 5. They're size 5. A lot of them, but not all of them are silver lined. And so
yeah, they are all Miyuki 5s. You just had to come look and see and remember. But then this one is a Chex 2.
yeah.
Not to be confused with the Miyuki 5 like I did earlier this week.
So we've got 12 colorways tonight, so just so you know what's coming up. We've got 4 blues, we've got 2 greens, we've got a candy apple, cherry pie-ish red. We've got a couple of fun gold ones, including a gold pearl and a gold topaz and a gold champagne. And then we have a gunmetal and a black matte. Just so you know what's coming up. So I'll do a preview of the upcoming before. But right now, this is lot number 1. We call it Lapis. And these kits are $22. I so jumped into this show, I didn't go through this. Right now, if you've done this before, you know how to do this. You just say sold lot number 1, like Bradley Ann just did. Thank you, Bradley, for getting this kicked off. We will always assume quantity 1. Unless you tell us you want more than 1, then be sure to make sure you say the quantity. So sold lot number 1 means you're going to get 1 of lot number 1. You're going to get this kit mailed to you. And if you've shopped before, we know how to reach you. If this is your first time, you just need to send us an email to Becky@diakonosdesigns.com. That's how we get your email, so we know how to contact you and send you that invoice. If your net order is over $50, it's shipping's free. Otherwise, it's $5.95. And we have a bonus if you spend over $100 or $250, you save 10 or 20%. If some of you are in our studio shopper program and you have a special discount, you can get your special discount tonight. You just cannot get both. You get whichever one is best for you. So, lot number 1. And there's only one of these, Becky, that we can't oversubscribe on, but we could if we had to oversubscribe. But our goal is to shoot for 10 selling 10 of these, so we still have enough to take to Tucson. But it's good to see how encouraged you guys are. And know that there's 12 different choices, so you're going to have plenty of choices. And this was either the first or second one that I made was the Lapis. This is my color of blue. It's a very deep, rich blue. 2 is a bead. There's some of these we've never had in our store before. 2 is aquamarine, and aquamarine we're pairing with the first 2 of these, and in fact the first 3 of these we're pairing with the shiny silver skipping stones, and the majority of these have a tiara cast button. This one does not have a tiara cast button, but it is one of my favorite buttons. It's like an etched semi-southwest, semi-floral look that I thought was just sweet with this colorway. So that's lot number 2. Very good. Sorority color. Cool. Cool. I was in a sorority once, but they kicked me out. Said, no boys allowed. Just kidding. All right. So, lot number 2 is aquamarine. Lot number 3 is sapphire. So somewhere in between those blues is this blue, sapphire. Sapphire, just super lovely. So if you have made our stepping stones in the past, again, you'll be able to do these with your eyes closed. Like I said, the one thing the stepping stones did allow us to mix in, you can see these were size 5s that were exactly like the size 5s we're going to see in the next one. But it did allow us to work with size 2s. And I just found the size 2s got too bunchy just got too bunchy on this. Didn't look right with the stones. I did stick with the 6x8. We could have gotten by with 5x7 oval rings on these, but I did think for consistency, the
Hey, Eddie, can
six.
I interrupt with a question
Sure.
from Monica?
Sure.
She's wondering if we have the buttons for lot 2 for sale separately. And I do not remember what that button looked like.
Yeah, and yeah, we absolutely do.
Is it on the web?
It is not on the web, but they would be. I think we do those for $1.50, and so you could just tell Becky if you want us to throw a few extra in, and we'll just add that to your order. And maybe that's something we should get on the web. We'll talk to our web guy. All right, this is the project I was doing for you at the start of the show. It's got a Tiara cast dragonfly on it, and it's called Midnight Blue. So we'd had all these brights, and I thought, let's get something that's earthy. And this is a kind of an Aurora Borealis finish. Believe it or not, these are all the same color bead. They just have a little bit of a finish that kind of goes all over the place, and it's largely blue. So we call it Midnight Blue. And it was one of our best selling colors with our stepping stones. And it's we've been testing colorways for about 2 weeks in our studio, and it's been one of the highest testing colors that people have voted on in our studio. So again, these are only available on this show tonight, and again, we'll take orders through Saturday on this show if you watch it on a replay. But or they'll be available in Tucson at the Colors of the Stone 2-bead True Blue, which is at the Casino del Sol, booth 155 to 157. They will be back in our studio February. We'll be back open February 12th after we get back, and they'll be available on the website. I've already got the web cart built, so I just have to flip a switch. But they'll be on our website February 10th. So mark that. And these are what we always package our kits nicely so you can see all the components. Do. Oh, there. I couldn't see the rings. There. So that's what they look like. Anyway, so I suppose I should grab the lot number. Lot number 5. We mixed things up a little bit. We went with antique copper rings with antique silver skipping stones, and we used a Tiara cast thistle button for lot number 5. And these are these, again, silver-lined matte beads that just, size 5s that look just like they're glowing from the inside out. And I'm glad that the lighting here is kind of giving out that vibe.
Yeah, I don't know if you can hold them up closer because they are cooler in person than they're showing up on my screen, for sure.
Well, when I hold them up super close, then they go out of focus. So I'm just, if I, you know, I'm assuming what I see on the screen is what other people are saying. So if they're, I don't want them to be out of focus.
Yeah, you're right about that.
So this is our bright green, and we call it evergreen. And lot number 6 is called turquoise. I called it turquoise. The bead manufacturer calls it matte opal green, but it has just that little bit of pearlescence and kind of like the midnight blue, where they're all the same color, but when you start looking close, you see a little bit of color shifting, just a little bit of color shifting. So it gives a little bit of interest. It's a matte bead versus a shiny bead. We paired it with shiny silver to kind of give it a Southwest/Tucson-y vibe. We had a Southwest bracelet in our old repertoire of the stepping stone, and that obviously always did well and sold well. So this was kind of an homage to that, to have wanted to have two different types of green, and I felt that these were quite uniquely different from each other. And you know, I'm gonna just let my wife get caught up a second while she's getting caught up. Looking ahead, February 13th and 27th. So it'll be 3 weeks before our next show, mainly because we'll be going to Tucson the next 2 Thursdays. But the 13th and 27th will be featuring some strands and anything else unusual, like chain or unusual findings or pendants. Last year we found a lot of new unusual things, so hopefully we'll find more of those. Lot number 7 is our only true red. I'm calling it cherry pie, and when we go camping, we take cherry pie filling and put it on pancakes with whipped cream, and we call them Door County cherry pancakes. And this just looks like that cherry pie filling right as you open the can. You can kind of see it glowing with all that, high fructose corn syrup or whatever they put in there. And so if you loves the red, and this one's got a real unique button too. This is not a tiara cast, but it's one we found in Tucson last year. It's a shank button that's a square with a really kind of cool filigree pattern. Again, I thought the antique silver and that button seemed to make this fun little bracelet. Any school that has kind of white and red as their school colors, you could almost, like we have that in Wisconsin, you could almost say this is a Wisconsin bracelet. So I know there's many white and red schools all throughout the nation. So, and that cherry pie is diet, just so you know. There's no calories in that cherry pie. All right, our next 3 use the gold. We got some pearls, we got some topaz, and we got some champagne. So keep your powder dry on your... well, that's right. I did promise I was going to periodically show all of what was coming up. So 8, 9, and 10. These Baroque pearls, these handmade, hand-formed Czech pearls, topaz, and then something I call champagne. So if you only had budget for one gold, you know what's coming up. I do want to warn you that, first of all, we can't oversubscribe on these. We only have 7 of these. I just want to make sure you know that, Becky. No more, no less. There are more beads on the way, but we just have 7 of these. But they are, note the price. The pearls are $6 more, so keep that in mind. The pearls are $28. Instead of 22, because the beads cost that much more, but they are so lovely. And like with all of our kits, our vineries and our chevrons that include pearls, we do put a toothpick in the kit, and the reason for that is, in this case, you're going to get 52 beads. You might find 2 or 3, statistically, maybe no more than 5, that have a kind of like a misshapen hole. It just, as these were the glass was cast, it got a little bit of a little lip on it, and you just simply poke that with the toothpick, and all of a sudden your hole is just as good as new and is full size. So you can solve the problem with just a simple toothpick. So we do put a toothpick in there. I often will make an entire bracelet and never need to use the toothpick, but it's there just in case you need it, in case you wonder why you're seeing that toothpick in there. So this is pearly cream. It's actually missing a Y. That's a typo. Pearly creme gold. I'm going to show you something. I don't want to confuse you. This is not on the show. This is our only other pearl bracelet. It's its sister bracelet, pairing white with silver, cream with gold. This one we don't have in the show because the beads are on back order. They're supposed to be arriving before we leave for Tucson. We may be packing these kits.
White ones?
Yeah.
No, those aren't coming till April.
I thought they were getting them in the tubes.
Oh, that's right. We did order some in tubes.
Yeah. Yes, you're scaring me. So anyway, these should be in Tucson. These should be on the web February 10th, but they are not in the show tonight. Just so you know, those are coming. And you may have seen those in the photos. But anyway, this is lot number 8. Lot number 9 was the very first kit that I made. When we first got all these in the mail, I was curious how the gold were going to look, and for some reason, I just grabbed this bead. I think the bead manufacturer technically calls this bead root beer, but I thought root beer would be a cheesy name for a bracelet, and I thought topaz would be better. And topaz, it looks like just rich, luscious November birthstone topaz. And paired with the gold, it's very striking. And this one we also have a gold thistle button on. I think with all the golds we have, I think with I forgot if I showed it on the other one. I think with all the golds we have a gold thistle button. Yeah, super lovely. And we got those SSS's, shiny skipping stones. I'm seeing a lot of new names tonight too, Mama. I'll give Becky a second to catch up. So anyway, yeah, so what I was saying is when we get back from Tucson, and on the 13th and 27th, we'll have shows with the strands and fun stuff we bought. Then March 13th, we're going to have the show we were originally going to have tonight, which is our third of 3 installments on our overstock jewelry, super sale jewelry. So lot number 10, I call champagne. and it's might have been taking a little dare here with I'm using natural purple leather, because there was just ever so bit of a hue of purple in these, and these are, instead of silver line beads, are gold line beads. So they're gold line beads, and they have just a wisp of purplishness, lavenderishness to them. So that's why I kind of went with took the risk on the purple leather, and again, it's got a gold thistle, and so again, a different look, kind of a very dressy, fancy, definitely wear it on a nice night out, not when you're going to Culver's or In-N-Out Burger. It's like when you're going to a fancy place like Chipotle, or, no, I'm kidding. What would be a fancy place that everyone would know about? Like a bonfire. I know they have bonfire grills, or Chili. It needs to be more fancy than Chili's. Olive Garden, maybe Olive Garden. Chick-fil-A's fancy up here in Wisconsin, because it's.
You're rambling.
Well, I'm just waiting for you to. I'm just waiting for you to catch up. 11 and 12 are sisters. 11 and 12 are sisters. They even have the same button. They have the same stepping stones. One difference is one is a matte black, and that has tested well. That's why we kind of kept the matte black. But I really wanted to try this gunmetal. So 11 and 12, we'll go back to 12 in a second, but just so so if you can only afford one neutral, you know what the choices are. So lot 11 is matte black. We did have a matte black, again, in the stepping stone, that also used these same size 5 beads. And again, they were sold 12-1. Not sure what that is. Oh, that's right. I guess you guys have seen 12, so you already know what you're doing. Okay. I guess that's allowed, Becky.
It is, honey.
All right, so maybe I'll put.
And then, of course, it makes it fun, because then we go back and forth. And now I'm behind you.
All right, sorry. I'll let you.
Just so you know.
So maybe I'll do that. Lot 11 there. Lot 11, lot 12. Are you a shiny girl, or are you a pure black girl? Do. And again, this is definitely a nice gunmetal. A really nice gunmetal. Again, I had mentioned during the tutorial, you want to end on beads, and sometimes it means ending on the second set of beads if you're going for a certain length. So know that that's an option, and usually it's going to either land on one of those two things, and you'll find a lovely size. But you could also, if you had to, even just scooch a third pair of beads in there if you thought that was going to be more efficient than putting another stone. It'll be down by your wrist. No one will notice. No one will care.
So can I ask a question?
Sure.
When can people buy the stepping stone separately?
The skipping stones?
Yes.
That'll be on the website February. That'll be on the website February 10th.
Okay. There you go. February 10th.
Alrighty, so we got just 6 more kits to show you. again, we're going to have 40 total, over 40 total that are new. Over 40 total that are new to Tucson, but most of those you've seen throughout the year. But these are ones you haven't seen. So if someone's got a good memory from 2 weeks ago, we put these on. We are really proud of this new peach mango vinery bracelet, and I think it's the colorways go with the colors of the year, and we think it's going to be a hit. We're at this point planning on taking copper. Copper got the most votes, so we're planning on taking copper to Tucson, but we wanted to give people the chance to do one more vote if they wanted to. So again, you can buy these tonight. These will not be on the website. Well, and again, at this point, the only one that will probably be on the website February 10th is the copper one. But if you like it in silver, I originally designed this colorway, and when I designed it in silver. I think it's the coolest one, but what do I know? So we have just 7 of these available tonight. And that's lot 13. And this is lot 14 in the gold. So it's the same thing. It's the same bracelet. Again, this is a different bracelet. These are very easy to put together. It's weaving Genya and this special vinery chain, and then these Magatama beads. Goes really straightforward. There's a tutorial on our website. What you're seeing right now is something, I don't know if you knew, you could do this all the time. In other words, we have a design called, maybe a good example is Midnight Pearl vinery, and it uses antique silver chain. You could put in the special notes, I'd like it with silver chain. So you can kind of create your own unique bracelets if you really wanted to. I mean, it creates a little extra work for us, and as long as it's a reasonable amount of extra work, we'll say sure. So if you say, give me 3 extra inches because I'm making an anklet, then we would talk to you and want a little bit more money. But so you could get one of these in the future. You could get a silver in the future by using the comments section of or the special notes section of each web cart, and just say, replace the chain with gold, replace it with silver. But for now, this might be your last opportunity to just order them and let's have them shipped right to you. 13 is silver, 14 is gold, and 15 is copper. I'm seeing a lot of 14s. So gold was a.
I saw 114. Is that what you said?
Well, I saw Lynn, Lisa, and Bradley.
The only one I have for 14 is Brenda.
Then the feed must be behind or something.
That's probably true. So.
And I see Maureen Kelly one.
Yeah. All right, let me try to see what I can do. Monica's 13.
So we're going to let Becky get caught up. We have just 3 more lots remaining. And then we'll... there's no Thursday night football tonight.
These are so delayed.
So I guess a hearty thanks to all those that did come out tonight. We're so grateful for that. while Becky's getting caught up, again, if this is your first time shopping, we do need you to send an email to Becky@diakonosdesigns.com or use the secure messenger feature of Facebook to messenger us your email. I prefer it in the email, but you can also messenger. But just don't put your email in the feed because we want to keep it between you and us, because you never know who's watching. So that's how we are able to send you a secure click and pay invoice from Square. You click on it, you pay it. In that process, you're putting your shipping address in because it asks for that. And we remember that we always put our shipping address in every time because it triggers our shipping software to ship that right to you. And that's just that easy. So we never have to take your credit card over the phone or do anything unusual like that with this system. So, alrighty, you caught up? So, lot 16 is an Anastasia bracelet. You've seen and heard the Anastasia bracelet before. We had it, I think, on a show about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. And it uses size 6 beads, 4mm. It uses a very elaborate pattern of rings and beads. It's a 4-stranded bracelet. But what we didn't have is a man version of that, or a unisex, however you want to look at it. So we kept those 4mm squares in the center, but we went all the way up to a size 2, repeat, size 2 on the edges. And so this is an Anastasia. It's a little, oh, I got the wrong price. These are $34, right? We decided we needed, there's different costs. The regular Anastasias are $28. This one is $34 because of the different beads and the different rings. Pardon?
And more rings.
It's more rings, and it's two kinds, two sizes beads. But what it creates is a very rich looking bracelet that you can make for your husband or boyfriend, just not both. So again, this is lot 16, and again, trying to. Don't have a lot of room under the, so when you put it on, here's what I was talking about before. So this is kind of true with a lot of bracelets. If it's going to fit right, when you have it tight, your button should be perpendicular to your last bead. Look how this is perpendicular to my last bead, pulled tightly. That makes it usually then just the perfect length to put on your wrist. And again, I'm not the world's best buttoner, but I've gotten a little bit better at it over the years. Well, I just about had it. Coming off is always easier because once you get it halfway, it goes. But so yeah, this is a. I would wear this all the live long day. There's a place here where you put dangles on it if if it's more feminine bracelet. I chose to truncate that area, but I did put these just, very little manly dangles on here. So anyway, this is called Anastasia Ebony. It'll be on our website February 10th. It'll be down at Tucson. But if you've loved the Anastasia and wanted to try something in a black, we have that available. And that is once again, lot 16. And again, my apologies, it is $34. I had the wrong price on the slip. Mid-October, we did the Celtic braid. And the one thing we were greatly we didn't have any of the designs with antique brass, and we didn't have anything, the brown we had just really was paired with like a turkey red, and it looked stripy and a little bit different. And this is one where we're pairing more of a natural antique brown with a light brown and antique brass chain, and these are only $18. This is just like our Nessie kit, only it's a separate second. It's weaving a leather and chain once and then going back and creating that second weave that makes it look like a braid. There is a tutorial on this. When you go to our website and look up Celtic braid, it'll say to see a tutorial, click here. So anyway, this is just a new colorway that we rounded out our colorways that we had in that show. We didn't have enough colorways in that show to round out a family, and we just developed this in the last couple weeks and featured it in our last couple of newsletters. So lot 17 is Celtic braid. Lot 18 is something that has been on our website but has never been on one of these shows and has not been to Tucson. So this one is on the website. You could buy this on our website. I'm not going to take the time to take it off and put it back on. We developed it over the summer. We were hand making. This is a production bracelet that we kept. People wanted the kits, and we kept hand making them. And we finally said, it's about time we finally make this kit. And these use 4mm rainbow miracle beads. What draws your eye to this, and this is as simple as, if you've never worked with memory wire, you curl up. You curl up one end with just you can even do it with a regular pliers. If you have a round nose, it makes it nice and round. If you have a needle nose, it ends up looking like a D, but it's still, no one's going to care as long as the beads don't fall off. And then you're just going Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. And then what I do to kind of make it radiate is you reverse that, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red, and then you just keep going back and forth. About 17 times you go through the Roy G. Biv, so about 8.5 times you go through that cycle of 14 beads, and you just, it's bead spacer, bead spacer, bead spacer. You get about a 3/8 of an inch from the end. You make the other curl, you add a dangle, and you're done. It's just that easy. You can do these easily in under an hour, but you get to be the decider of how you do the pattern. This is one that someone did where they did Roy, RR, OO, YY, GG, BB, II, VV, and then reversed it. So they did twos at a time. And could you do 3 at a time? Absolutely. But you can see it gives it a different look and feel. So you get to be the decider. So anyway, it's we always say with any of our rainbow jewelry, anytime you see a rainbow, you stop and look. It's a reminder of the covenant was that Genesis 6 where the covenant was? Somewhere's around there. We pack the beads individually in 7 different little bags, so you're not having to figure out which one is which. And we put the dangle in there. It's got basic instructions, but you'll definitely figure it out. You'll love it. We sell a ton of those during the summer art fair season, and that's going to be premiering for Tucson this year. So, Genesis 9. Sorry, thank you. Genesis 6 is, I think, where the flood starts, and so it takes 4 chapters for the flood to end. So, they have to build the ark in there along the way too. So, probably a chapter on building the ark. So, anyway, you guys, I've seen a lot of stuff scroll by, so you guys are, we're going to have to be scrambling over the weekend to make make enough to take to Tucson. We're so glad to be able to send you these, and know that you're part of a world premiere and you're getting these before anyone else is. And anyway, if you're done shopping, let us know that. If you need any add-ons, let us know that. Otherwise, thank you all so much, and we will see you again in 3 weeks with the good Lord willing.
God bless.
Love you all. God bless.